And we're back.
Welcome to the Cavalry.
To the Cavalry. Big energy, big energy.
Big energy. I'm Andrew Slater.
I'm Johnny Boehner. We are the co-hosts.
We never introduce ourselves anymore.
That's true.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm on my own. Erin's she's actually out in California, San Luis Obispo, visiting her LA friends. So it's been me and the kids since Wednesday night. And she gets home.
How are you? We've talked about this before when you're doing it on your own, but like, are you feeling pretty good? You getting in a rhythm?
Oh, it's piece of cake. It's so easy. We went camping in the backyard last night. We made a fire. We rode our bikes to Culver's. Oh man. I texted Erin pictures and she was like, "Oh God, kids are always going to want me to be gone."
Yeah. See, there is something about when you just have a concentrated, like, I think the hard part of parenting is like not having there's no end to it. Like,
Right.
this is just every day. There's no weekend. There's like every day. You're like, even if you can stay up late, but they're not going to sleep in that morning because you stayed up late. So it's like,
Right.
no, but when you're like giving an assignment, you're like, okay, you've got 4 days on your own. It's easy because you're like, oh yeah, I just got to get to that. We just got to fill up all the space till then. And then when she comes home, I'm like, hey, I had them for 4 days. You go nuts, you know?
Yeah. That's so funny. I was talking to my buddy about like the movie Mr. Mom. Like that could never get made today. Like the whole premise is, can you imagine a dad in charge of kids?
It's so funny. I tried to do a bit about that. I had a friend of mine and he heard my daughter in the background and he goes, oh, it sounds like you're babysitting. I was like, I prefer the term raising her, but yeah, mom's never
being a dad.
Oh, it sounds like you're babysitting your own kid. But I couldn't get it to work because I think most people were like, oh yeah, I've probably said that before.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone does like get it. They're like, yeah, dad's in charge. That's gonna be a weird one.
Yeah. But it sounds like you're having the time of your life.
Yeah, just got them out of the bath, gave them lunch. I smell like a dumpster fire because I haven't showered since probably Thursday night.
Oh man, you didn't do the post campfire shower?
That's what today was because we slept outside and I just haven't had time. I've been bathing them, feeding them, cleaning up the tent's still out there, but I brought all the stuff in. Oh man. I still smell like a fire.
I hate smelling. Some people say they like smelling like that. I hate smelling like that. I can't sleep if I smell. I mean, if I'm in like camping, I sleep in a sleeping bag. Like if I go to my own bed, because we got this couple summers ago, I got that solo stove or whatever, so I could just have little fires in our back.
Yeah, that's what we used.
Yeah, they're great. They're great, but then also like because the commercial, the whole thing is like, there's no smoke. It just goes straight up. You know, the design of the stove. But then I would throw like twigs and tree branches, just whatever crap wood I could find, and then it's like so smoky. Like, this is awful. This is not what I was advertised. Hey, this fire has smoke. It's like outraged. And
I want my money back.
Then I looked into it because I was like, is there like a design of the fire that I'm supposed to be like? Is there a way to do it and it turns out you have to have like this special wood. You're like, oh, you need to buy like this type of wood that's like super dry and you know, I was like, oh, well then that's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just paid $350 for a bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it feels like, kind of.
Yeah.
But they got me, those Instagram ads. And that's the height of the Instagram ad was like during COVID because you were home, you weren't shopping anywhere else. You had a little money from this, like you got a little stimulus money, and you're like, ooh, that's what I need.
Solo stove. Well, they got us both.
Used it like 3 times. I always tell Heidi, like, I'm like, oh, we should go out and have a fire. It's like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't either. But I bought this thing, so I would like to do it sometimes.
Yeah. It was cold, man. We did s'mores on the solo stove, which I hate. That's the messiest. That is the messiest snack there is.
We talked about s'mores, right? Like you don't like s'mores.
Yeah, I'd rather just eat the marshmallow. That's it.
Yeah, I like them. I actually actively like the way it finishes, the flavor of it. I like the sandwich, but you need like if you're gonna have s'mores. Here's a little pro tip: you gotta also have like 12 gallons of water ready to go to drink. Like your mouth gets so I don't know if it's from the smoke or just like graham cracker. There's no moisture to any of that anymore. But you're
Yeah.
so dry.
Well, yeah, that's why they have those contests. Oh, you eat 12 crackers and then you whistle. The first one to whistle wins or whatever, when you're at did you ever go to summer camp when that was like a thing? Like, okay, you gotta eat 12 crackers and then whistle.
God, the Midwest sounds so boring.
That's what we did for fun.
You know, Friday night, you'd have your whistling contests. Who brought the?
So we laid down and we had the iPad in there and we were watching, Hercules, and they all fall asleep because I gave them melatonin. I didn't want to, I'd deal with that all night.
Right.
And it was so cold. I got no sleep because I had like this nice fold out memory foam thing that's like a trifold thing for camping. And I thought I would just sleep on that with maybe one kid, but they all put their beds on it. So we have this like 10-person camping tent, and it was so uncomfortable because I was just stuck on the bottom edge of this cushiony thing, and then it was freezing, so I didn't really get much sleep. And then at 5:15, the kids were like, "I'm freezing. Can we go inside?" So we just went in at like 5:15 in the morning.
I don't know how you didn't resist the urge to just wake them up and go, all right, we had our fun. Now let's everyone into their real beds.
I thought about it, but then I was like, "Yeah, it's one night."
Yeah. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Now, are you gonna go? Like, do you guys? I like. It's so funny the idea of going actual camping to a place sounds so impossible to me.
Well, I believe that's what we're doing this coming weekend for Memorial Day weekend. The kids are going to Gigi's house.
Oh,
and me and Aaron are going camping with all the neighborhood friends, and they'll all have their kids. So it's going to be so sweet because we're going to be watching them struggle and just deal with their kids, and we're going to be like just drunk, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, that seems more reasonable. But just like when we go, like we went to California to see Heidi's dad and then Palm Springs, and just packing up with one kid and a dog to get on an airplane. See, it was like the checklist you need of crap. You know what I mean? And then you're like, but we're going to be indoors at night, So then you like extrapolate that out to what you need to survive a weekend in the woods. It's like, I don't think I could do it. I just think I'm too. That's what I realized I love about comedy the most is you just sort of wander, you just show up. Even if I like forgot my suitcase and all my, I mean, I wouldn't look great, but I could just walk on stage and do it. And then there'd be a hotel room. And then I'm always like, oh, you forget your toothpaste? That's okay. You can just buy some. There'll be some in whatever town you're going to. They'll have toothpaste, they'll have deodorant, they'll have an iPhone charger, they'll have anything you need. And you could just buy one.
Doesn't that apply to any travel outside of camping?
That's what I mean.
Oh, well, yeah.
But stand up is more like I was thinking in comparison to if you were like a magician.
Oh God, yeah.
You can't forget your trunk.
Yeah. Sorry, there will be no show. But you're right here. Yeah, but I got a whole bunch of shit.
Has anybody seen a dove? There's supposed to be a dove in here. You just keep.
I was going through my trunk.
Yeah, or like even a singer, I feel like, or a musician, bring your own guitar or whatever. It all sounds awful to me.
Or Carrot Top. Hey, who moved my toilet seat with a rear view mirror on it?
Did someone grab the wrong toilet seat?
Yeah.
That one was mine.
Uh,
But yeah, camping seems impossible. I don't know if we're ever gonna do it. I wonder if Ginger's just gonna be one of those kids. It's like I never had that, or
it
maybe
seems like such a Portland thing, though.
you just send her to. You're like, oh, your friends are going camping. Oh yeah, you should go. Yeah, get that experience. Be outside.
Yeah,
You're gonna love it.
yeah. Here's some pictures of Dad camping a long time ago. I'm down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Done, but I'm down with it.
When you're freezing. The last time I really did it, like in a tent,
Yeah.
was when I was probably like 23 or something. And I went with my dumb friends to Mount Rainier, and we did it like college idiot camping where we bring a big cooler full of beers and stuff, and like, you know,
Yeah.
then it's not that kind of camping. I mean, we're hiking in like a mile and a half to the camp, so we're carrying this. It's like no one will just eat it and go, no, maybe we don't need the beer. It's like no, we. So we're just like dragging along this thing on a hiking trail for a mile and a half. It was awful, and then it rained all night. We got soaked because we didn't have like the proper stuff.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
Up, so I was up at like 4:30 in the morning. I just started walking around because it's like, well, I'm not just gonna lay here in a puddle. Oh,
We'll
like,
just walk around in a circle.
yeah.
Oh man.
So anyway, but yeah,
Before the camping, I found a tick on Duncan's head
bro.
back to back.
Oh, good for you for checking.
I didn't even mean to. I walked in one morning and I was just rubbing his head to wake him up. And I was like, what the heck? There's a little bump. And I like pulled his hair apart and I was like, there's a tick.
Did you do you know how to pull ticks off? I've never actually done
Well,
that.
that first one we got lucky because I don't know if it like came out on its own when I was tussling his hair, but it was like first thing in the morning and it kind of came loose and was just in his hair. So I, picked it up and flushed it. But then we were on tick alert. So we've been watching. And then I don't know if it was that night or the next night, we were looking actively for him. And there was another one on Duncan and it was in, and Aaron got it with the tweezers or something.
Oh man.
But they say you're not supposed to, like, I don't know. There's all contradicting. They say, oh, touch it with a match so that it pulls its legs out on its own. But then they're like, no, that doesn't. Then it bites in. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Oh, that'll burrow it in deeper.
I don't know.
Well, how do you tick proof? I mean, that doesn't sound good. How are you gonna like your backyard is so big? How do you tick
I
proof?
don't know where they got it. I mean, Aaron put tick stuff on the dogs. So if he got it from the dogs, they're covered now. But he was kind of playing around in the tall grass at the park by the school. So
Oh, so you
I
think
think he got it from there, not from our. I don't think from our backyard. I hope not. I don't know.
you just have that forest of a backyard, but you keep the lawn pretty good, so it's not your.
Yeah, I mowed yesterday. Yeah, Erin's big into the no mow May because she's not the first one that has to mow on June 1st when it's a friggin' beast. So she's out of town, so I mowed it. I was like, screw that.
No mo. What does no mo make? Just to like,
That's for the bees or some shit. I don't know. It's dumb. It's stupid. I don't know. There's some hippie agenda on it. Like, oh, I don't really understand it. And
uh,
I'm all about it because it's like, oh, great, you don't have to mow for a month. But I'm just like, I'm just seeing this impending.
do you come in with the weed whacker first to like bring it down, or no? You have the riding mower, so what do you even care?
Yeah, I got to do all three. I got the riding mower and then the push mower to get between all these trees and bushes that Aaron planted, and then I got to take the string trimmer to get up against the fence and the steps and all that crap.
But I mean,
Stupid.
sometimes like I've been in my landscaping career called out to a few fields where you can't even like I didn't have a riding mower, but you only have a push mower, and then it's so high that like literally you're just gonna gum up your push mower. Like it can't even handle
Oh,
if there's any moisture at all.
wow.
You have to come in with the weed whacker first,
The
bring it.
weed whacker, you mean the string trimmer?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. And do the yard with it?
you got to bring it down to a level that you can actually get over the mower with. So yeah, you got to do the whole thing with you call it a string trimmer, whatever. And you got to do the whole thing with that and then come over with the lawnmower, because otherwise you're just going to be like cleaning grass out between your blades the entire time.
Well, that's how high it was yesterday when I mowed. It clogged the riding mower in the middle. It shut it off because it was so full. So I had to back it up and start it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, can't you set the push mower like at a ridiculously high one and then just mow
That's what I'm
towards?
saying. I mean, this stuff's up to my chest sometimes, like the
Oh my
wheels,
god.
they just have never been cleared before. And you're finding like tires and stuff in there and old cars. I mean, it's like these are like real abandoned,
Oh my
this
god.
isn't
Awful.
like,
Yeah.
house.
Oh,
But
I've never had to do that.
uh yeah, that's what I used to do. Like when I used to mow the lawn at the church, and they would wait too long, or because it was all somebody, they would pay me, but they were hoping someone would just volunteer. But I was like a kid, so they would finally give up and pay me. And
Yeah.
it would be pretty thick, but I would go over it with the push mower, and it was big. But I hated like you know emptying the bag. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm lazy, so I would just like after I would go for a while, and then I just like lift it up on two wheels and then let it spin and just like kick the grass out and like kind of
Yeah.
pull it all around, and then I just go farther and try to go as long as I could without having to empty the bag.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we get into it?
Should we get into it?
By it, I mean
The topics?
Kingdom of Hyrule.
Oh God, yes, please. That was
Now,
my original background. I got to hear no spoilers, but
no
fill
spoilers.
me in.
I'm not going to talk in anything. I don't think most people don't even want to hear nerd stuff about the stupid game. But let me just say something. I started out by playing, I brought this Switch. Now, I haven't played this Switch in like 3 years since we literally were playing.
I'm so jealous. Yeah.
That's how long it's been. And I brought it because I have these weeks on the ship, and I was like, I'm so bored, and the internet's not good up there, even on the ship in Alaska. So it's like, I need something to get me through.
Yeah.
And so I brought this Switch, and I started playing the old Zelda game because I didn't have the new game wasn't out.
Right.
And I hadn't played it. I was like, I should beat it. I never actually beat it. So let me just finish it. And I was like this close to going, you know what? This is stupid. Like I did it. I beat the game, but I was rusty. I couldn't remember where anything was or what anything did or how to do anything, the controls. And I was like, this is dumb. I'm not going to get the stupid Zelda game. I'm going to like do something more productive.
Yeah.
But I do it because I realized you could download it. You don't
Yes. Which I hadn't thought of.
Right. So like I was like, am I really going to go to like a Best Buy on my one day off? And there's no Best Buys in the city anymore.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it, started playing. I was like, you're like a drug addict. It's like, you dabble with it. I guess you could snort it. You could snort it. I am like now at the point where I had played all day yesterday. I had two shows last night at 9 and 10:30. They were just in this little club though, and it was while we were in Victoria, so it's like smaller crowds.
Yeah.
Hey, you only have to do a half hour. I was like, great. I finished the show like on the dot. I sprinted back to my room, played during the break between right up until the
this makes me so happy.
Then Heidi's been like, hey, you need to watch Succession. This is like our favorite show. This is a show we both love. It's by far our favorite. We love it. I've got it downloaded. I have 3 episodes downloaded on my phone. Haven't even gotten close.
Oh, wow.
Hasn't even occurred to me. And she's like talking to me like, I want to talk about it with you. You said you were going to watch it. I was like, I know. I've just been busy. Like, you've been busy. What are
you should tell her. You should be like, babe, you got to get Zelda. I want to talk about it.
It is so addictive. And it's just so, I forgot that feeling. Like when you start, it's teaching you everything as you go along. So it's so big and there's just like limitless things. even if you have ADD, it's like even if you start out doing one thing, you're like, oh, there's a horse.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're like plowing a field or something. You're like, what am I doing? Become obsessed.
What am I doing? I'm string trimming a field so that I can get ready to mow it in Zelda. What the fuck?
Oh no, I know how to do this. I'm gonna nail this one.
Oh
Uh,
my god! Did you notice that when it first came out? Like, I don't know if you ever go on TikTok, but like half of the TikTok videos that were fed to my feed were just Zelda gameplay of people like, doing inappropriate things because I guess you can like build stuff.
yeah. So I was not on the internet at all. Like when I started playing it, it really was like a spoiler free experience because I literally could not Google if I couldn't figure something out. I had to just do it myself. There was no way
Yeah.
to, and if I got really stuck on something, I would just leave and then go do something else for a while till like I learned the way to do the.
Yeah.
And I'm like not usually a Reddit person, but there's
Yeah.
the Seahawks Reddit I check every once in a while. And somehow my phone knew, like somehow Reddit knew to suggest Zelda stuff to me. I've never like searched Zelda on Reddit for somehow it just maybe because I was Googling how to download Zelda or something. But they all
Or maybe because it was the timing of it and everyone was
maybe
looking at
that's it.
Zelda at that time.
But man, I clicked on one thing and then just this and then I was like again like now I'm like I have two screens going, I'm playing and I'm looking through what everybody else is doing. I'm like, oh my god, you can do that. And I was like, god damn, it's like so it is taking over my life.
Oh,
I know that when I get off the ship next week I won't ever I won't play it again until I'm like on another. So it's so
yeah.
weird. It's like I'm gonna go from like 1,000 to 0, and reintegrating myself into society is going to be different. I feel like I do need like a methadone clinic or something to like wean me off. Um,
Well, it sounds like you don't, because when you get off, you drop it like that.
well, no, but maybe that's not good for me. Maybe this time it's too good, and I'll like die from the shock or something.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I have it on good authority that I might be getting it for Father's Day.
Okay. But then your time situation, how are you going to handle it? Because like this is perfect because like
Yeah,
no
I know. That's
sex,
why I'm so jealous of you. You're on a cruise ship. You have no excuse.
I have nothing else to do. So it is that you're your worst version of yourself when no one's holding you accountable to anything. And that is when you're on these things, no one expects you're by yourself, especially on this one. They don't expect anything of you except to show up, do the shows.
Yeah.
You really don't have to do anything. So it's like if whether or not you want to work out, be a human being, watch other, read, write, work on your craft, all that's just up to you. There's no one looking over your shoulder.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's very so I have been like getting off the ship, hiking, being healthy and working out and stuff. But uh other than that, it's just pure
So it's Hyrule.
and it's very and I don't even feel like I said, I'm at the point now where watching Succession so I can talk about it with Heidi feels like a chore. I'm like, I gotta do that. I gotta brush my teeth. I'll watch a little Succession. I'll go work out. I can play more Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah, but once the episode starts, you'll be back in it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure I'm all caught up on it.
It's supposedly great. It's also hard because it's all on my phone. That's the only way I can watch it is on my phone. So that's also like less appealing. But
Do you know how many episodes are in the season of Succession or how many there have been in other ones?
I don't. I feel like this week is the finale though, or tonight.
Oh, tonight?
Tonight. Yeah. So when this comes out, people will have seen the finale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
So there you go. But that's what I was saying. Heidi was like, "Should we wait and watch that together?" And I was like, "Yeah," but then the chances of it not being spoiled for you are pretty slim. So I would just watch it.
Because when would you be able to watch it together? Not till when? Like
Another
another week?
Not for another week. So we'd have to go a week without spoilers. Seems,
Woo.
seems like a high bar in today's climate. Okay. Well, should we get into topics?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, buddy. What do you got
Um,
first?
you know what? Mine is sports related. I'll go first because I want to brag about my children. So Edie is playing flag football. Went to her game yesterday, and um, 3 touchdowns, 1 2-point conversion, and 1 interception. All Edie.
Wow, she's quarterback.
They kind of all do at some point. So one like
Interception. I thought you were like being fair and giving her negative stat as a quarterback.
no.
She
Edie got the interception. Yeah,
she is a real. She's like a talent here.
yeah, yeah, and loves the sport. And then Duncan got at his baseball game. He got the game ball for being MVP of the team. Uh, it was on account of he got home a couple times and he did some RBIs. Now that's what my topic is: RBIs, assists. Those are so stupid. I don't think we should keep track of them. You're keeping track of like an RBI is what? Like he hit the ball and someone else got home because of it. Is
I
that
mean,
an RBI?
that's what are you talking about?
Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong. Well, for can I stop for just a second?
Yes. Yes. What?
Before this, you've been around baseball long enough now because of your kids, and you've even coached third base. We need to work on your verbiage because you don't.
Why is that wrong?
He got home a couple times. He did
Yeah.
some RBIs.
Yes.
I think
That's what the coach said. They're like, "Oh, I don't remember how he worded it. He probably worded it correctly, but
I think the preferred phrasing would be he had some RBIs and he
okay.
scored some runs. He scored a few.
Yep. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So no, an RBI is when that was right? You hit the ball and then the third base guy gets home.
A run batted in. So you were responsible for the run coming. So I think the way I won't back you up because on an RBI. Wow. I know I've never been this blunt before. And an RBI is like probably more important than the run scored as far as like if you're a free agent in baseball and let's say you have a ton of RBIs or you have a ton of runs scored,
sure,
they would probably care more if you had a ton of RBIs. It's viewed as like more important to be able to hit the runner in than it is to just be the one who's on base who gets brought in. Does that make sense?
But let's say you're at bat and you're the first one to bat, so no one's on base.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing as if someone's on third. Like it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with you. It's just the timing and the order. Am I wrong?
Yes, because
all right. This okay.
no.
This is good. I'm learning.
Not wrong if everybody's hitting singles and then like let's say I hit a single, I got on first, then you hit a single, now it's first and third, then somebody else hits a single and then a run scores. Everyone kind of did the same skill there,
yes.
Right? But a lot of times it doesn't work that way. What happens is someone hits a single and then the next guy comes up and hits a home run. Now, who's more responsible for that run being scored? The guy hit the single or the guy hit the home run?
Who's responsible for the first guy's point?
Yeah, his point. Sure.
For him. If he didn't hit the ball and get it on first.
Because he only advanced himself to one base. The guy behind him advanced him second, third, and then home.
Okay, well then here, let's say the second guy, the guy that hit the home run, let's say he hits a home run.
Yeah.
Does he do anything differently, whether there's a guy on first or the bases are loaded or he's the first up to bat? He just hit a home run. That's it. Why is he getting credit for something that is just
because
incidental?
Would not have scored if not for him hitting the ball.
Yeah, but
so someone should get credit for that. If we're gonna keep track of
the guy that got himself on base.
I mean, we do keep track of that. We keep track of everything in baseball. They keep track of on base percentage. So they combine, in fact, your walks and your hits. That was like the whole premise behind Moneyball. It's like, why is a single different from a walk? It's
Well,
not.
that's obvious, right?
The genius strategist over here. But the point is that
I don't think you can compare the two.
what? You think a run scored is more like if you were gonna pay a player,
Yeah.
you would rather you would prefer to have him having scored a lot of runs than to having a lot of RBIs. I guess
That question is too much for my brain. I
guess the way baseball is viewed, traditionally at least, is that like, so you're guys who score a lot of runs. They're like your leadoff guys, you know? They're
Yeah.
your smaller guys who hit first. Usually they have some
Your Ricky Hendersons.
Ricky Hendersons, totally. I mean, that's like the best one ever. So that's a great example. And then you have your big hitters, like your
Your
best.
Jose Cansecos.
Sure. You're a very specific team you have in mind here. Your Mark McGuire's, you know, your so then you would put them in usually like the third spot or the fourth spot, the cleanup spot, right? So typically your best hitters are the ones you put second, third, fourth in the lineup because they're going to get chances for RBIs. And that's like, if you're a great hitter, you have a lot of RBIs because you're coming through in a situation where so if there's a guy on second and there's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth and you get a double and you score the run in, I mean, we're not all pouring water and hugging and lifting the guy up on our shoulders who scored the run. We're going and mobbing the guy who hit the ball. He's right. The big celebration. He gets the credit because he's the one who won the game.
Yeah, but home runs are cool and exciting. Like,
talking about home runs. You're not talking about home runs. You're talking about runs scored.
I know. Nobody runs out to first base with a fucking Gatorade pitcher and dumps it on him because he got the third base guy home.
They do if it's in the bottom of the ninth. Yeah, they literally do. They literally do. You're just laughing.
I have no response. If I'm wrong,
you are.
I think it's stupid.
I understand you think it's stupid, but
here's the other half.
Okay.
Basketball assists. Okay. What do you like? Unless it's an alley-oop, you're not responsible. Why don't we start keeping track of, oh, he's the guy that passed to the guy that made the assist? How many of those stats do you have? And now you're going to tell me they do keep track of that.
They're called hockey assists, but I don't think they really keep track of. They might keep track of them in hockey, but that's funny that in your mind you equate assists to RBIs and then runs scored to points scored, where I really think it's the opposite in most people's minds. Like the RBI guy is like the guy scoring the basket. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because I think the thinking is the real action in baseball is not just running around on the base paths. I mean, like any idiot can really do that. The real action is like the pitcher pitching to the hitter. That's where all the drama is. That's where all the focus is. Same thing in basketball. The real drama is like you're shooting the ball. Does it go in or not? Right?
Yes.
Well, so like those are the two. That's where we give all the credit. It may be too much of the credit sometimes, but that's where we're giving all the credit or all the blame is the person shooting the ball or the person hitting the ball. So we're not going to go crazy and celebrate. Like nobody remembers who had the game-winning
assist
run, and no one remembers who had the game-winning assist. They remember who had the game-winning hit or the game-winning shot.
So you're telling me it's 8-8, and Joe Blow is on third base.
Right.
And then Billy hits a single.
Yeah.
Brings Joe Blow home.
Yeah.
We're not all hugging Joe Blow?
No. We're all hugging Billy.
Wow. Joe Blow's, I'm all by myself giving Joe Blow the biggest hand job of his life while everyone's over there high-fiving Billy.
So everyone's clear, we're no longer talking about youth sports in this.
Right. Yes.
Use
Now
a
we're in the
Joe
major.
Blow as a consenting.
I'm giving Joe Blow the biggest and his first.
Uh, but yeah, no, you would be alone there with Joe Blow. Because let me put it this way: what if you have a guy in third? There's 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, and you
Yep.
have a guy hitting.
Yep.
But then they're like, "Hey, our guy on third, he's kind of slow, so we're gonna pinch run for him, just in case."
Ooh.
Now instead of Joe Blow, there's Johnny Beaners on third base, right? So I hit the single. Andrew, the hero, hits the
Yeah.
single. You score a run. Do you still think you deserve to be mobbed and celebrated?
I'm learning a lot of things about baseball that I didn't even know happened. So maybe I should have done more homework before bringing this topic.
Never do more homework. Never do more.
That seems disrespectful to Joe Blow, though. I always feel bad. Like they pull out pitchers in this youth. It's like, all right, good. We're gonna switch it out. And I'm just like, oh my god, how's that kid not gonna cry himself to sleep tonight?
Yeah, there's no crying in baseball.
I guess.
Well, and I think in like youth sports though, don't they mask it in like, oh, you're just tired. We don't want to wear out your, we don't want to wear out your arm.
Well, it's not that they don't want to wear it out. It's that it's been worn out and you're tired. So let's get it out of there.
Yeah,
These parents want to go home. Can we switch it out to some
I've learned. I'm learning like you obviously are, like baseball is a steep learning curve. It's a very weird sport. There's a lot of weird rules and pinch running. But like I've never watched hockey. So I'm like with the way you are with baseball, I'm like with hockey. I don't know any of the rules. I don't know any. But like Seattle has a hockey team now, like an NHL team.
Yeah.
So again, I was on the ship. This was before Zelda, and they're in the playoffs. So I was like, oh, and it was on ESPN, a channel I could watch on the ship. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this hockey game and try and learn as we go. And the same way they pull out pitchers, they pull out goalies. See, I didn't know that. If you get like scored on like 3 or 4 times, and then like he just doesn't have, they pull the goal. They just like switch out the goalie and they go to their backup goalie.
Oh wow.
Like that's pretty. Like how do you come back from that?
Pressure. Yeah. Dang.
That's not a situation where they're tired. They're not tired. They're just sitting there in the net all game.
Yeah.
They're literally
less
tired than the goalie, but they're just like, oh, you stink today, and they pull them out.
I always wonder, like sometimes the coach will go up and talk to the pitcher, not when they're pulling them out. And I'm always wondering, what the hell is he saying? He's just like, throw strikes. You're throwing it to the right. Throw strikes instead.
Middle. I think that's a situation where they're like, this is just expected of me. Like they're like, everyone's like, yeah, someone should do something. This kid sucks. I was like, yeah, you're right. It's up to me. And it's like a low risk situation because either you go out there and they start throwing strikes and you look like a genius, or if he still sucks, they're like, I guess he was beyond saving. There's just
coach did all he could.
Coach did everything. He talked to him. What do you want him to do? I told him to throw strikes.
Well, are you at least backing me up on the basketball aspect of let's drop the assists stats?
I mean, I don't know. What's the harm of keeping? I think in that sense, points are valued way more than assists as far as like in everyone's perception. So is there a harm in keeping track of this? It's kind of helpful to know. I'll back you up on this. A lot of the assists, you're right, are mirages. Sometimes people are just stat padding, or like there's actually a way you can get a lot of assists but still be like a selfish player. You can play in a way where you're only passing the ball if you think it will lead to an assist. And a lot of time what you need to do in basketball is like what you said, you need to make the first pass of like 3 or 4 for the right thing to happen. So that is true. Some people have inflated assist totals and you're like, oh, he must be they must be an unselfish player. And that's not true. They're just making it, they're playing in a way to like still, because like in the NBA, this thing, there's the triple double, right? And it used to be a sort of rarefied thing where If you have more than 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 points in a game, that's called a triple double, right?
I just learned of this maybe a month or two ago from my brother Luke.
Oh, you did? Okay, great.
No.
So like some guys, they'll have like 30 points, but then they'll have like, 9 assists and 9 rebounds or something. So at the end of the game, they know. And so they're playing there's literally a clip of a guy who was 1 rebound short of a triple double, and they inbounded the ball, and on his own end, on his own basket, he threw the ball off his own backboard and grabbed it and then dribbled down the court. Like it was so nakedly clear. And I don't think they gave him the rebound for it. Like they were so mortified, they just didn't attribute him a rebound for that.
How you said, and they know it. Like, how do they know it? Are they keeping track in their head, or can they just check with someone?
No, they got like a million little stat nerds all over the bench. They're looking at the numbers. They go in at halftime, they look at their numbers, they know percentages. They keep track of everything now. They
So
got
an assist, is an assist literally just the last person to pass to the guy that scored?
if it leads to a basket immediately. So it doesn't
okay.
count if I throw it into the post or something, and then you take a dribble, you up fake, you under, that's not an assist.
Okay.
It has to like you said, an alley oop would be the extreme example. Or if I just pass it to you and you're on the 3-point line and then you grab it and you shoot, that's an assist.
Okay.
But it's there's some human judgment involved. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm backing you up.
All right.
I mean,
okay.
We found a specific area for you to be backed up, I think.
All right, I'll take what I can get. Now let's see what I can do for you, Andrew. What do you got for me?
It's so stupid. I shouldn't have been. It just hit me, my arrogance, because I should have been more humble, knowing I forgot how bad my topic was.
I'm excited now.
But you came into an area where I felt like I had a lot of knowledge, and then now,
yes.
Okay, here's what I need backup on. I'm like trying to think of a way. Okay, I thought of this because I read a headline where people were like, people's opinions of the Supreme Court are at like a 50-year low.
Okay.
And I started thinking about that, and I was like, well, that's kind of funny. Like, I get why people are maybe down on the Supreme Court because it's been more conservative and they've kind of done more unpopular things as far as like abortion and stuff, right? So I kind of understand that. But then also, like, you would have thought people would have been down on the Supreme Court all the time, because no matter what you rule on something, there's going to be another side that's like mad about that, And so I wonder why that's happening. Because in politics, like I feel like politicians always have bad, it doesn't matter what side of it they're on. There's always like a negative view of Congress. Like for years, they think the hackiest thing you can say, oh, those clowns in Congress or whatever. Nobody ever likes Congress. But for some reason, we like elevated the Supreme Court as if they're not political or something, right?
Right.
I think it's because they wear robes. So here's what I need back up. No more robes for judges. Like, you go into court.
Okay. And I thought you were going to go the other way. Robes for everyone.
Robes for all. No, because I think it's better that we view these people as just people. It's dumb that they go in their little back room, they put on their little gown, and they come out, and we all act like, oh, look at this person. They're totally unbiased. I'm not even talking about Supreme Court, but just any judge.
Right.
So they wear a robe. They're not even like a regular person. They wear a robe. I mean, what are we doing? What other world would you be in where you're like, this guy's wearing a robe? You know what I mean? Just let him wear a suit. The lawyers don't wear fuzzy wigs anymore either, or whatever they used to do.
But they got to wear something to differentiate. I'm like, I agree, it's ridiculous, but I feel like if they didn't have robes and they were just a guy in a nice suit, they have to be different. They have to be elevated somehow.
They're literally elevated. They're literally up. They sit on a big bench way, way up there.
Right.
That's not enough for you. You get
But
a
if people, then we're gonna run into the world where it's like we just don't even respect the system anymore. We're like, hey, he's just some fucking guy. Fuck him. Yeah, he said he was guilty. No, I'm not. Fuck you.
yeah, I think that's where that's my point, is that like it would be better if we were just all honest about everything and go, look, there is no perfect arbiter of justice, right? Like this, obviously,
Yes.
we're all just people, and we're all just like, they don't make the jury all wear robes, you know? They don't make them all wear masks over their face, so there's no way to know. You know, they're just people. Everyone's people, and we're just doing our best. And you're gonna get it right sometimes, you're gonna get it wrong sometimes. You try to get it right more than you get it wrong. But like the robe thing, it just strikes me as like a relic that we've hung on. It just seems ridiculous to me. If you just never had any concept of the world, the legal system, and I just brought you in to America and just walking you around, you would for sure be like, why does that guy get a robe? Why is he wearing that? Why doesn't he just wear clothes like everybody else?
Yes. I can't. I don't have anything I can logically argue it.
Retaliation for my not back
No.
stupid baseball thing.
But what's the harm? What is the harm of the robe other than it's silly?
Okay, the harm is that we elevate the robe, causes us to think in our mind that these aren't just people, that they're bigger than people. There's some sort of like God or something. And that's why people had this opinion of the Supreme Court for so long. They were like, oh, they can't make a mistake. They're wearing robes. They can't be lying. They're wearing robes, where we should be more, we should scrutinize them more as like regular people who are fallible, you know?
What if instead of robes, because robes are silly, what if, no, not crowns, bright yellow suits and blouses?
Just
So
bright,
so they're different, just so it's differentiated.
How about this? What about like stripes, like referees?
Oh, see, a suit made out of stripes, or like a blouse with stripes.
Yes.
Up and down referee stripes.
Yeah, I could get, because that's what they're supposed to be, right? Like referees.
Yeah.
It'd almost be better if they looked like referees.
I agree. It would be better because there's a societal understanding that referees are fallible. You know, they make mistakes, but we accept it. It's like, well, that's who we hired to judge the game. So we all agreed ahead of time. We'll respect it.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I think we've come to it. That's good.
That's good compromise. Yeah. No robes, just dress like referees.
Right.
But you know what's funny about referees is like in the NBA, and like they don't wear the stripes. In baseball, umpires don't wear the stripes.
And wait, they don't wear the stripes in the NBA?
No, they wear like pale blue. It's like different. It's like their own.
They used to wear stripes?
I think they wear them in college. The college referees wear stripes. And I'm trying to think in football, I think they wear stripes in football. So,
all right.
I'm glad we did some important work here today.
Oh, we did. Yeah. I learned a lot.
So did I think.
You learned how much knowledge I did not have previously to today.
So thank you everybody for listening to our show. I will be, when this comes, I will be in Reading June 2nd. If you know anyone in Reading, at the Reading Performance Arts Center, need people to buy tickets to that. Also have shows coming up in Montana, so any Montana people in July in Bozeman and Missoula. Nice. Is this coming out tomorrow? Yes. Okay. I will be at the Milwaukee Improv on this Thursday, the 25th of May. And I will be at the Tampa Side Splitters June 1st and the Wesley Chapel Side Splitters near Tampa, the 2nd through the 4th. This is so much easier to do when we record. I know. Almost math. We should do it all the time. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to The Cavalry.